So hello to anyone out there tuning in, and yes, it is indeed gamer time. If you are someone that enjoys video gaming, well, this is the car paint job, I guess you'd say, but we're not using paint job, we're using stickers for you. This is our 2007 Hyundai Elantra. We're pretty excited about it. Not really sure exactly what we're going to get out of her. She runs pretty well. The transmission, though, has a hiccup. It doesn't go all the way into park, which, you know, what's the big deal there? Just leave it neutral. But it shifts hard into reverse and neutral. So as she starts banging and clanging around, we're not really sure what's going to happen. But we're hoping she has a good run. Taking it to my hometown fair where I grew up. My mom taking me to the Derbies, Clarion County Fair. And my son and I were talking about doing something with video games. His design on the last car, if you watch that, the Impala, he had Shadow of the Colossus, a game he's playing through and really likes. So I said, Hud, why don't we do some of the best Xbox and or PlayStation games, but we're more of an Xbox gamer, so here it is. So they haven't been glued on yet. I have this glue that I'll show here in a moment, but it's cardstock printed out and then just cut out. These are the video game arts. So this is just some of them. It's raining and kind of overcast, so I'm not going to do it until we get to the Derby. It should be nice and clear, but we'll have them up the side, a couple on the hood, the roof of the car, that is, along with these ones here in the hood, and then some on this side. So we'll see how it looks. But yeah, the car itself, again, stock compact build. Tank underneath, my kind of typical setup. You can see this time I've actually got the seat belts around the door and the duct tape ready to go. Roof signs there. Again, as soon as we get there, we want to be able to pull off and go through inspection. So just kind of looking around, as hopefully those don't blow away. I just have them on there with some painter's tape so I can wait till we get to the Derby. But again, my simple setup with a chain, 3/8 bolts. I use that chain over and over. It's been through 24 Derbies now. Very simple. Again, the ratchet strap this time, again, if you watch the Impala video I mentioned in the post video, a little bit higher, but this time I'm not worried about that seat buckling as much. It's a little bit higher. I had it a little bit lower than that, and it just kind of slid down on me in the Impala, and I was a little bit of a low rider at the end. But again, inside, I just pull the wires off of the side as much as possible. Again, with stock, running the stock, not only the stock internal fuel pump, but also the tank underneath. I don't like to mess with any of the grounds. I've never seen as many grounds as this car has, so I really don't like messing with them if I don't have to, moving them even. So I just kind of slide them in, zip tie the lines so they're off as you're getting punched a little bit in the doors, and then just kind of secure the loose wires inside. Again, the Smith's Metalworks battery box, couple 3/8 bolts through it, and she's good to go. I just have that battery sitting out. I don't put the battery in until I get there. And again, just zip tie my battery lines, the chain, so there's nothing clanging around. It's really windy here today. I mentioned we just had a huge storm go through yesterday into the night. Fortunately, though, for us, it's through, and it's looking like it's going to clear up this afternoon. Just a little bit of wind right now. But again, pretty simple up front. Just kind of pulled the wiring in as much as possible. You can see I could only get it. I couldn't detach or unplug and kind of move it in like I did in my Impala, the car before this, but I got them in on the rail, put a little spray foam, around the coolant there, where you can see it's unfortunately on the outside of the frame rail. There's not really anything to do with it. You know, it gets punched and is leaking. I mean, I'm probably in trouble anyways, as close as it is to the wheel if I get that damaged. But again, batteries, I just use a U-bolt. The exact battery terminals that are in it, I just run the U-bolt through it, and then my AutoZone lines, again, clamp it down good, just kind of secure it. I don't super tighten it so that, you know, as you're getting punched or the motor might get pressed back, things can move a little. Same thing over here. I unbolted the plastic that was here for the air box, as well as the kind of rest of the air unit that was up front here, to not only clear it out, but then I have just zip tied to the wiring there, which is mounted my kind of computer here, but also I unbolted the fuse box, pulled it in a little bit so I could get some spray foam, not only around it, but you can see the wire runs up in through the fender here, so I have the spray foam there as well. Again, you know, if I'm getting punched there too many times or really at all, that wheel's likely going to buckle, but just another way to kind of protect it. I already have my it had good antifreeze in it, rather. Didn't put any water in this one, but I did add my cup of, again, April Scent fabric softener. Let it cycle for about 8-10 minutes before I started this video, and she's good to go. So again, it looks pretty plain Jane right now, if you will. I put the gamer time. Again, if you look that up, it's kind of a game joke, I guess you'd say, or a gamer joke. It's kind of stupid, but I thought it was funny. And we put the Demolition Noobs on the top this time. The wheels I just like to do, we have some old paint that's blue, red, and yellow. Just kind of throwing that on there so as the wheels are spinning, it kind of looks cooler than just a black wheel. In the trunk, pull this up here. So again, just pressed up the trunk underneath. Pretty simple that way to try to help fold it in, and the stock promoter guys in our area, the stock class that is, they don't seem to mind or really complain about that as long as it's no creasing or things like that. They don't want you doing. But yeah, otherwise she's bare bones stock. We are excited. As I mentioned, it's the fair I grew up with. Really hoping she battles out there like the Impala did. We were pretty pleased with that one. Watching the video my wife recorded, the Impala, I'm like, oh man, I made a mistake there and let a guy get in my wheel, and I made a mistake there and ended up I lost the tie rod, and then the CV shaft ripped out. But this one, again, the only thing I'm a little concerned with is that transmission shifting hard, and it doesn't kind of go cleanly. It's like it's out of alignment. So drive isn't grabbing, but you have to go down and over, and it goes into third. And then it runs just like normal in drive. It's just, in the third lower gear. And then reverse is almost up to the park. But then it goes into reverse. It just shifts a little hard. So we'll see if that ends up biting us. But otherwise, again, we're excited. Weather clearing up really has me in a good mood. It's always a good derby, Clarion County Fair. Not a huge fair, but I think it's always been a good derby. And they have big money, arguably as big money as anyone in Pennsylvania or even Eastern Ohio. So we'll see what we get. Hoping for a good run. But this is her 2007 Elantra. Let's have at it. Throw this in here real quick. Anybody, this is the Gorilla Glue spray adhesive. It's an aerosol can, works incredible on stuff. If you not only the cardstock like I'm doing with the imagery, but any sort of advertisement, or some guys buy those kind of stickers that you can stick on with their numbers and stuff like that. If it's not really holding, this stuff works great. It's just a spray adhesive, doesn't take long to dry, and gets wet through the derby, still holds on. I used it on my Magic school bus and it worked great. So if you have any interest or ever need to put stuff on your derby car, this stuff's awesome.